Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's meeting of the Cabinet Committee Local Issues meeting. So we'll start with the membership of the committee. So I'm Councillor Graham Turner.
Councillor Moses Crook.
And we have apologies from Councillor Munir Hamid. Item 2, minutes of the previous meeting. Are we happy with those? Yeah. Okay. Declaration of interest. I don't think either of us any declaration of interest. Admission of the public. This is a public meeting, so members of the public are invited to attend, and we have 2 members here this morning. Deputations and petitions, I believe we have none. Public question time. Do you wish to ask any question at this moment in time, or you wanted to come later? Okay, thank you very much. There are no members here to do members' question time, so we'll go straight into item 8, traffic regulation order for the A629 Halifax Road, Huddersfield. So we're going to hand over to officers to present the report. So who's presenting?
Good morning. The purpose of this report is to consider an objection received to the proposed traffic regulation order, amendments order number 9, 2024, A629 Halifax Road. My recommendations is to overrule an objection received to a section of the proposed double yellow lines on Halifax Road between Tesco and E3 Road. My reasons for the recommendations are: the scheme will underpin policies of supporting jobs and homes by creating capacity infrastructures identified in the Council's local plan to provide a more efficient transport network. The scheme will provide accessibility by reducing congestion, improving journey times and reliability between the ring roads and the Ainley Top roundabout. The objection received referred to a currently unrestricted diverging outside residential properties close to the junction of E3 Road, intended for vehicles leaving Halifax Road, turning left into E3 Road. The diverging currently has a lengthy keep clear marking within it, which will be replaced with double yellow lines if the proposal goes ahead. So here are the information required to take a decision. The A629 proposal has been subjected to several public consultations events, and changes were made to the scheme as a result. A planning application was submitted for the scheme, and approval was secured in December 2023. The traffic regulation order was advertised between the 9th of August and 30th August of 2024. One objection was received during the informal consultation for the legal orders in June 2024, but was accepted as a formal objection as the issue remained unresolved at the time of advertising. The objectors' initial concerns are: that was the first time they are aware of the scheme when they received the information on the informal consultations. They purchased the properties in year 2022. They do not believe they have been adequately consulted regarding the proposals. They are concerned that the removal of the keep clear marking will prevent them from parking in front of their properties. They are concerned that the installation of the double yellow lines will prevent them from parking their vehicles in front of their driveway. They also claim that they cannot park their vehicles within the driveway. So here are the highway officers' response. The occupier purchased the property in year 2022, which is within the period of the planning application was being considered. The planning application was submitted on the 5th July 2021 to the local authorities, and the consultation period was extended to the 27th October 2023. The planning permission was granted on 11th December 2023. During the consultation period, the local authority consulted widely on the scheme proposal in accordance with the planning requirements. As part of the property purchase process, the objector's conveyancer should have carried out a local authority search. The conveyancer should have notified them about the proposed highway scheme. Planning notices were advertised indicating the proposals. The property purchase was complete during the consultation period. The design proposal include the replacing of an advisory keep clear marking with legally enforceable double yellow lines to deter all vehicles parking in this area, not just for non-residents, and to keep both their accesses, the diverge lane, and also the uncontrolled pedestrian crossing clear. The proposal simply reinforced the current arrangement as parking to the frontage is not technically permitted with the existing road marking. It has been condoned and not enforced previously, but as the traffic sign manual and the highway code, keep clear marking indicates areas of carriageway that should not be kept clear of stationary vehicles to allow passage of vehicles to accesses. Keep clear markings are not put in to reserve a parking space for residents to park on, but to indicate a space where drivers should not park to help maintain access to and from a private drive. If residents regularly park on the marking, this will show others that access isn't really needed. The double yellow lines will also ensure that the area of road is available as both the diverging or deceleration lane into each road, and also feeders for the additional lane here being provided by the scheme for M62. The double yellow lines will ensure the necessary visibility from the side road can be achieved. The driveway to the property has the same width as a standard parking space. There is historic evidence indicating that vehicle parked on this driveway. However, if resident is having difficulties, it remains their responsibility to find a suitable and safe place to park that does not cause an obstruction. Side meetings were held with the objectors and the designer team to discuss the matter and to present the potential accommodation work. The objectors has also communicated their concerns to their local councillors and MPs. However, the objectors were not satisfied with the proposal, as the proposal does not include widening the full length of their driveway. Therefore, the objectors would not withdraw their objection. The highway officer has concluded that the scheme design should remain unchanged due to the following reasons. The driveway access and drop crossing provided vehicle access to the property is similar to other properties in the area. The driveway has the width of a standard parking space. The responsibility for ensuring the residents can access their driveway easily lies with the residents themselves. The driveway has already built when they purchased the property in year 2022. The scheme will not make any alteration to the width of their drive with the access or driveway. The keep clear marking is replaced by the proposed double yellow lines. They are intended to prevent parking in this area by all vehicles, and they are legally enforceable. The keep clear marking were provided when the resident of 217 and 219 complained that parking blocking the access. They were not intended to be parked on and were successful in deterring parking from the adjacent retail premises. As the resident now park on this marking, their usefulness is limited. Double yellow lines will ensure that the required visibility from Eastry Road West is achievable with the proposed junction layout. So this is the report I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is that the end of your presentation? Thank you. This moment in time?
Thanks. I'll just say a little bit about this. So I think first it's worth noting that this is a key connector route between Kirklees and Calderdale and also between Kirklees and the M62. So it is a critical route for economic growth and opportunity for our region. I understand there are currently advisory keep clear markings and T-bars at this location, but these had originally been put in place at least partly to prevent parking and protect access to residents' drives. I also understand that this is not a lay-by or parking provision intentionally, as it's been described in some of the objections, but actually intended to be a diverge or feeder lane into Yew Tree Road. It's clear from evidence presented, and actually by just checking on Google Maps, that these advisory markings are not being respected and that parking has become habitualised in this location. This is causing obstruction on the diverged lane and also, importantly, blocking visibility and access to the pedestrian island and pedestrian crossing. So there is a safety issue here as well. Removal of this parking, along with other enhancements proposed, will effectively improve pedestrian safety and increase capacity on the highway, contributing to reduced congestion and journey times, as well as to a more efficient and less polluting highway network. So double yellow lines will allow effective enforcement here, improve the network for residents. So I'm happy to propose the proposal here in line with the officer recommendation.
Thank you. I'll now ask the members of the public, have you any comments you wish to make at this point in time?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting us here today to speak. We appreciate the proposal that the council proposed to us regarding the widening of the entrance of our drive. However, it does not solve our major safety concerns. I have read the report that you have stated is the size of a standard driveway. We have a previous site visit and given photos that the driveway as it stands is nowhere near wide enough to use effectively. If we were not on the main road, it would be possible. However, reversing into a driveway when there is double lane traffic, it simply is not possible. We raised these concerns with Mr. Wong and he agreed. Additionally, you are proposing that we reverse out onto the pavement, which already has a restricted view because of the weather station. How is this keeping pedestrians safe? As it stands, the Yew Tree Junction and the exit to Tesco car park have had numerous accidents with cars trying to pull out, and with the full visibility on both sides, is it too risky for us to reverse out, which I'm sure that you can appreciate. There was an accident just happened on the weekend as well. You might be aware of that. That was someone trying to pull out of Yew Tree Road, and someone just went straight into him, T-boned. We have a disabled family member who is frequently at our place. They have a disabled badge and require close parking. Furthermore, if this family member could eventually get their car onto the drive, it is impossible for them to open their door fully and safely get out of the vehicle. We have got numerous photos of Kirklees vehicles, emergency vehicles, delivery drivers, all parking up in front of our house. If you are saying we can't park there, then all these services are abusing the rules and making it unsafe for everyone. We understand that we are a tiny piece of a big development plan, but if we were aware of this before purchasing the property, we would have reconsidered. We ask that you try and understand our situation and come to some sort of solution for our safety and the other road users and pedestrians. So we had Paul Davies, a personal assistant, Dominic, come out to see the site as well, and he understood the situation, and he advised the ideal situation was to have a turning circle within the property premises, and that would make it safe. If we knew that these things were going to happen before, and we wouldn't have purchased this property, but it's not something that it's not a house that it's not a thing that you can buy on a daily basis. It's something that you buy once or twice in a lifetime. And I'm sure you'd understand this situation and come to some sort of solution for us, which would be the ideal situation of safety matters in this meeting. Thank you.
Do you want to add anything to that? Okay, thank you very much for your comments. Officers, do you want to respond to any of those, or shall I? Okay, so I listened to what you said, and I noted you said that the the keep clear markings not effective because people park on them, and as part of my preparation for this, I actually looked on Google Maps, and there was cars parked in there. So clearly the keep clear markings are not working. So the only way to get over that is to put, they're not enforceable, is to put WL lines in which are enforceable. So I get what you say, there might be danger there, but you're already implying it's dangerous anyway because people are parking there already. As to you wouldn't have bought the property, that's, as the officers pointed out, this process has been ongoing while you've been involved in those negotiations to buy it. Therefore, excuse me, you could probably argue that your solicitor hasn't done enough due diligence on that. So I'm afraid that doesn't come into our decision-making process, unfortunately. Turning circle, I don't know. I didn't know Don was an expert engineer. Never mind. So I think I recognise your points, but as you said it's not been enforced now. This will allow it to be enforced. It's part of a wider scheme. So in the greater good of things, I'm happy to accept the officer's recommendations. Did you want to add anything, Councillor Crook?
Thank you. I mean, I absolutely sympathise with your situation. If you buy a house and then the circumstances change, then that can be quite difficult. The only thing I would say is it's clear from looking that the drive was intended as a parking place, and there used to be, I think, a garage at the top as well. So it might be possible to widen the garage to make it safer to reverse in. I certainly wouldn't go in forwards and reverse out onto the highway. That's contrary to the advisory information in the Highway Code. In terms of disabled parking, it is worth contacting your ward councillors about that, because if ward councillors agree you can designate a space, that would be round the corner on Yew Tree Road, I would imagine, because there is parking on Yew Tree Road that is available not far from your front door as well. So there are choices in terms of parking. You could widen the drive so you feel comfortable reversing in, and you could park round the corner, plus the possibility of designating an advisory disabled parking bay should that be needed by you or your relative in the future. So, I mean, unfortunately, I agree with Councillor Turner. The liability may well lie with the conveyancing process because this was underway at that time, and also it's entirely possible had you bought the house, this process could still have happened, and unfortunately, a single objection might not be sufficient to prevent the change in regulation for the greater good, as it were, to benefit more people. I think the fact that people are parking on the keep clear markings indicates that people are not adhering to the advisory recommendations of the Highways Authority already. It's already not supposed to be parked on, and all we're doing is making that more of an enforceable position. So I'm afraid I agree that this is not material in the decision-making process, albeit that I absolutely sympathise with your situation.
Yeah, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, only insofar as, obviously, the site meetings were held, sort of the team came out to discuss with the residents there about widening the drive. That wasn't an acceptable solution for the residents there because we weren't actually widening the access to the drive, because we weren't or wouldn't widen the whole drive right the way up to the top. But we're still prepared to widen as part of the works. We're prepared to widen the access point so that you've got more swing to get in, but we can't extend it and do the whole of the driveway. So we will revisit with you if the proposals go ahead, and we will revisit with you the opportunity to widen the access itself. But any widening beyond the curtilage of your property would then have to be down to you as a resident.
Thank you, Liz. You have my sympathy. I live on a road that doesn't have any WL lines, doesn't have any clear markings, and getting my car in and out the drive can be challenging at times, shall we say. It's a sad fact that there's the road network is old, shall we say. It was devised when most people didn't have cars, so there is always challenges for us all, and I sympathise with you. But the officers have offered to help you improve that access to the drive, which I think is a fair compromise in this situation. And as I said, you admit yourself that the current system isn't working, so we have to look at alternatives sometimes with residents, don't we, and people who have the cars. Sometimes being kind and just having advisory is doesn't always work, so sometimes we have to go to the extent of putting WL lines, which are enforceable. So having listened to your objections and the officers' recommendations, and Moses approved this, I'll second it, and we'll accept the officer's recommendation in this case. And thank you very much for your time. Please continue to work with officers. I'm sure we'll try and find the best solution possible for you. Thank you. And that's the meeting closed. Thank you very much for everybody attending this morning. Officers,